All right, so here we are. This is the first ever Monday morning migraine, we're calling this. Everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, but here in Baltimore, you're probably attending the TailGOAT, so you probably have a migraine today. Who better for the first co-host than my brother, two-time Emmy Award-winning Ritter. Unfortunately, he is an Eagles fan, but he has a little purple in his heart too. So, let's get right to it. Obviously, team started slow and finished hot, which is the opposite of last week, but I don't think anybody's complaining. Story of the day is Zay and my man Tez. They just went off. The Ravens seem to have an abundance of weapons, but for Tez to have 2 touchdowns, which now gives him 3 touchdowns for his career. All 3 of his career touchdowns, all 3 of his career catches are touchdowns.
Must be nice.
It's like the Chris Carter thing, so it's really cool. Yeah, and obviously everybody knows I'm a huge Tar Heel fan. Loved the pick when it happened. I always tell people, I have a lot of phone numbers in my phone that I don't use, but I made sure to send Eric DaCosta a thank you text when he drafted Tez. So just to see his potential starting to get unleashed here. For me as a fan, it's awesome. I'm sure every Ravens fan's loving it. And it's just a great story.
I think for us especially, because we do so much in the community, and Tez is one of those guys we've done stuff in the community with. We've seen him behind the scenes. We root for these guys a little more. Obviously, you have the UNC connection, so that's a big deal, and it's more passionate for you. But this is a kid who, since he's come into the city of Baltimore, has done everything the right way. So when guys get their opportunities like Tez, and they take full advantage of it, and you mentioned Chris Carter, I guess we're going to start saying about Tez, all the kid does is catch touchdowns. It's a good problem to have.
It's wild. I think the Ravens actually tweeted that out yesterday.
Same thing?
Yeah, man, but it's wild. The three catches, all 3 of them to be touchdowns, and really nice touchdowns, especially that last one yesterday, right in front of us.
In the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, man. And, the thing that it does now, obviously, is it builds confidence, not only for Taz as a player, but gives Todd Monken confidence to call his number.
Yep.
And it gives Lamar confidence to throw the ball that way because it's not getting dropped. I don't think I've ever seen a kid drop a pass, whether it's college or pro.
I think one thing, too, is that the Ravens can beat you in so many different ways. You come off of the loss that you had in Buffalo, and everyone's looking at this team like, who's going to be the guy to step up and get this team back on track? They started slow yesterday, and at first everybody was like, oh boy, here we go again.
Credit to Cleveland. We talked about that's a legit
good defense.
That's a great defense.
It is.
I watched the Cincinnati game last week, and they had
their front four get after
and
it.
Burrow and T. Higgins. They had them in clamps, man. And if it wasn't for a couple of drop balls, they would have won that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think their front four, they get after him, led by Myles Garrett. Obviously, they've invested first-round picks in that defensive line galore. The Ravens, when they couldn't run the ball yesterday, and it's not necessarily Derrick Henry's fault, they're running a lot of holes to go through.
No Ricard.
Yeah, no Ricard. That hurts as well. I don't think Derrick Henry had a game last year where he was under 50 yards. So what do you do when the run isn't working? You're able to translate, and I don't think people give Lamar enough respect that he should get in terms of how much he's improved as a passer. The guy came in with all the natural abilities, there's no doubt about it. But to say that Lamar has not improved as a passer since he's come in the league, you don't know football. If you're saying that this guy's got better each year, the game has slowed down a lot for him. And when you're able to go through your progressions like that and hit a Tez in the back of the end zone, it's pretty darn impressive. But the guy is as proficient and as efficient as any quarterback we have seen in the game. And he's not turning the ball over either.
Yeah, I did see a lot of people complaining that Lamar wasn't running the ball yesterday. So it's kind of like damned if you don't, damned if you don't. Do you want him to be a running quarterback? Do you want him to be a pocket quarterback? All the kid does is win games. So leave him alone. Whatever he's doing is fine, right?
Exactly.
A buddy of mine texted me this morning, and it's hard to argue that. Is Lamar Jackson right now a top 15 player in NFL history right now?
Without a doubt, in my mind.
Agree, yeah, it's wild. He just needs that ring. Obviously, we as fans think it's coming. We're just going to enjoy the ride, obviously.
Athletes like him, especially at the quarterback position, I think people are kind of, and even the city of Baltimore, I'm not sure we realize how good we have it with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. As long as you have Lamar back there, you're in every single game. You're in a Super Bowl contention every single season. You're not going to see a player like this come through for another decade, maybe another 2 decades, if you see another Lamar. The closest guy you'd think is Michael Vick, who came into the league, 02, 03? Back then. Just what he's been able to do and the way that he's able to spin the ball and take care of it. 4 interceptions last year. He has no interceptions this year. He's just lights out. And he's the most exciting player in the league, and he's here in the city of Baltimore.
He is
pretty cool.
Yeah, and speaking of that, went to the game yesterday. Place was rocking.
Rocking.
Right. And it was the 30-year anniversary of the franchise coming to Baltimore. And I lived it. I grew up without a team here.
Yeah. Which wasn't easy.
Yeah, man. And just to see the effect that the Modell family and the Baltimore Ravens franchise itself has had on the city, on the overall mood of the city, on small businesses, I just don't think it gets the attention that it deserves. I always say if the Ravens are able to make a playoff run and have a couple of January home playoff games, or even playoff games in general, it'll keep the lights on in a lot of bars.
And I don't think people get that.
Yeah, man. If you're packing them in there 2-3 times in January, when people are paying off their credit card bills from the holidays, when there's blizzards coming and people aren't going out, when people are doing dry January, stuff like that, the Ravens, having a first-round playoff game against the Steelers pays your bills. And that's just one example, right? I think the example that they set as a franchise is to be admired by anybody in business. I think, from the top down, they do an amazing job of recruiting amazing people. They do a great job of, and my favorite thing about the Ravens is, as a franchise, the way that they continue to make people that used to play here feel extremely important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Will, when I was visiting him last week,
Will Demps.
he was telling me, that he gets stuff in the mail pretty much monthly from them.
Wow.
And they invite him out to all these events, seemingly weekly, and they do it in the right way. So, speaking of which, we were talking about it before. The Boomer Esiason clip, yeah, right, where the Bengals.
You talk about an organization that can't do anything right.
Yeah, they kind of did it the exact opposite way, and just to have that franchise here in Baltimore, which we're not New York, we're not Miami, we're not a huge market. It's amazing, and to be in the title hunt every year, to have 2 Super Bowl rings, we're very spoiled. Not just with Lamar,
took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, but as a franchise. And as a city, as a fan base, we are extremely spoiled, man. And I never take it for granted. These Victory Mondays, when we wrap this up and I go over to the bar, people's body language is way different. They've really just taken over this place, and it's a love affair that it's been beautiful to watch grow over these 30 years. And speaking of the 30 years, we were both sitting in our seats during halftime when they brought the legends out. So you had guys like Ray Lewis and John Ogden and Anquan Bolden coming out there. And who gets the loudest ovation?
Ray Rice.
Ray Rice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. I know, he's one of my closest friends. I'm sure you'd feel the same way. Everything that, him and his family have been through for the city to still show that kind of love just makes me love Baltimore even more.
And one thing that, knowing Ray and us and behind the scenes, one thing Ray has never shied away from is being out in the community and giving back. We do a lot of charitable stuff. It's one of the main things, one of our main drives that keeps us going. Me, you, the station that I work at, the Jimmy's family, some other people that we're involved with as well. And anytime we pick up the phone and we need a quote-unquote celebrity or somebody to be there for the kids to give them a big smile, he's the first one who responds right away.
Yep.
What do you need? What time? And he's there every single time. The guy's never shied away from that. So to see him be out there on the field yesterday, which we know where he wanted to be, in the spotlight and being recognized for some of the things that he did on the field, and to get that ovation, you got chills a little bit.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I mean, people were standing up, getting out.
Going crazy.
It was awesome. I was hoping they would say his name, and then when they did and I saw the reaction, it gave me goosebumps, man.
And you have a lot of guys who come back to the TailGOAT, former players, families of players, whatever it may be. Till this day, Ray is one of those guys that still gets a line of people waiting to speak with him and take pictures. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. And his family is really cool with that, which I love that part as well. It's like it's you're not just getting Ray at the TailGOAT. It's the whole family, his wife, his daughter, his son.
We've watched his kids grow.
And and you see the confidence in them too, right?
Right.
They walk around the TailGOAT with their shoulders arched, and Jalen's got the Queen of England wave down now. It's awesome, So anyway, speaking of the TailGOAT, yesterday, first one of the year. It was awesome.
Great time.
Amazing
Great
way
time.
to start off the season. The weather was perfect. Star Crush, local band, crushed it. They always do. Zella, that made their TailGOAT debut, they did an amazing job. Comes to find out, one of the girls from Philly, just like you.
Yeah.
And the vibes were just like super high. It felt like, especially coming off that Buffalo loss, which I was kind of worried about.
Right.
You know, as that was like my biggest concern heading into the TailGOAT. You know, obviously the first week we're working out some kinks. You know, we're gonna have a meeting right after this. Things that we can do better, things that we see that the customer doesn't see, but it still bothers us, right? But my biggest concern was, man, people are gonna be flat. Like after that.
That was not the case.
Yeah, man, it was like a love affair, man. People were just so happy to see each other, ready to. I mean, everybody went to the game that I talked to.
Right.
You know, usually it's like, are you going to the game? And you know, 3 out of 10 might say no, but everybody's like, yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody was super excited. It just feels like the team and the fan base was able to put it behind them pretty quickly and take care of business against a division foe, even though Joe Cool's over there. And then, you know, we got a big one coming up this week with the Lions.
I think you talk about the vibes at an all-time high with everything going on in the world, especially last week and the past couple of weeks, and just so much hate that people are starving for something to bring them together.
Yeah, man.
And we always say that sports is one of those weird things that can unify everybody and bring everybody to a happy place where you're smiling and you share common interests. And there's no better example of that when you're at the TailGOAT. The vibes are always high. People are in the best mood. And you mentioned, how's everybody going to feel coming off of the loss after Buffalo? Nothing was flat.
Yeah.
I think that Joe Flacco back in town for the first time playing against the Ravens, that's a great storyline. You can't have that any better.
I saw a couple Joe Flacco elite shirts in the crowd.
He is elite.
Yeah.
He's elite. I mean, look at what the guys do. I don't care what you say. The fact that he's still playing at 40 years old and can play at a high level, that's elite alone.
Yeah, you know what I would say is, you know, people forget he came in the same draft as Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Look where Matt Ryan is.
So Matt Ryan's been out of the league for a few years now.
Right.
No ring.
Doing commentating.
Yeah, and he's a starting quarterback still. And
Slinging
he got
it.
picked after Matt Ryan. Let's not forget that part,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like those two guys are always going to be attached to the hip, and not only with obviously the Super Bowl ring, but with his consistency and his longevity, Joe's really pulled away from Matt Ryan.
I mean, Joe, everybody knows, big family guy, and for him, it's obviously not about the money at this point. He's made tons of money in his career. I think he's even said it's about him believing that he can still play at a high level, which he has shown, showing his kids, hey, this is what Dad can still do, too. I mean, that's got to be a pretty cool feeling for him, and I think it's nothing but love from the city of Baltimore. He got a warm reception yesterday. He will forever be one of the greatest Ravens, and of course, always remembered for what he did for the city, bringing home a trophy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, the way that things ended wasn't a terrible way, but you know, it wasn't the smoothest either. So, you know, for him to come back, I saw Steve was on the field with him. Of course, the post-game hug with Lamar. It just makes you realize what if and when he does decide to hang them up, man. That ovation is going to be crazy.
That'll be second to none, I think.
Yeah,
I
man.
think it's right up there.
And we'll
next
get into the TailGOAT too, for sure, right?
You know, you mentioned the TailGOAT, and it's kind of like news. People always see the finished product. You see what's on TV, or you see what you're experiencing when you're at the TailGOAT, but nobody sees what goes into that and the amount of planning. Like the planning you guys are doing behind the scenes. You have a team that gets there at what, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah,
Nobody knows that. To get a guy like C.J. Mosley to come back and all of the talking that goes on, and C.J. got such a warm reception as well. He had a great time. We were speaking with his camp. People just don't understand how much goes into it to pull off something of that magnitude where everybody has such a great time and to go off without a hitch.
Yeah, it's just an amazing team that we have that you touched on, and they're just so driven and detail-oriented for it to come together like that after taking basically a year off, right?
Yeah.
Since the last year, and dealing with challenges that pop up along the way. Just anything that's in the restaurant business, nothing's ever going to go smoothly. It's just part of the game, and just to see everybody adapting with a smile on their face. You know, we have the group chat going on during the event, and everybody is checking in on the lines and the restrooms and the food stations, and everything was going great. Checked in with plenty of customers. Everybody was having a great time. Got a bunch of texts and DMs this morning. Everybody really enjoyed themselves, and now we look forward to my favorite one of the year, my favorite day of the year, man. So we are 1 week away from two friends making their fourth visit to the TailGOAT.
Some of the biggest entertainers in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Who are you putting over them?
As far as live performance, if you're into EDM and house, nobody right now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even consider them EDM, though, because they play everything.
There's so much old school.
Yeah, they play,
it is.
They
You're
play
right.
classic hits from the 70s. They play, rock. They play hip-hop. They do play EDM, obviously. And they just redid Sweet Caroline, for example.
Which we love.
Yeah, which is what, in the 70s or 80s?
Yeah.
Neil Diamond, so...
That's true. It's a little bit of everything for somebody. We talk about the TailGOAT and just the restaurant business in general, which obviously, I've been honored enough and lucky enough to be friends with you guys for a long time and to watch where this business was and what you guys have grown it to. Same thing with the TailGOAT. Like, I don't even think people realize how that tailgate started and what it's grown into. I mean, we're sitting here casually talking about you guys booking two friends. It's one of the biggest entertainers in the world. And year after year, you guys bring in these huge acts. And the people at home, they don't see what it takes behind the scenes to pull that off. We chat about COVID all the time. And we always say that, businesses went one or two ways when COVID hit. You either went down, it was a horrible thing, what had happened, businesses, shut down, people were dying, or your business went to the next level. And, my mom owns a very small business just outside of Philadelphia. And I'll never forget when COVID hit, her first instinct, like many business owners, was, I got to close. I just got to shut down and we'll wait it out. And I'll never forget talking to you, and you probably don't even remember. And I was like, hey, my mom, yada, yada. And you were like, what is she going to do? And I said, well, she's going to shut down and she's going to wait it out. And you were like, no. You were like, you need to tell her to keep plowing through and figure out a way to stay open and make some business and ride this out. And obviously, that was life-changing for her, but it was life-changing for you guys too. It's one of the many hurdles that have hit you and other businesses over the years, and you didn't flinch. You kept going. And to me, that's when you guys really transformed into what you are now, not just as a business and as a brand, but the TailGOAT too. You took everything to another level, and that's just part of your background and what your dad taught you guys.
Yeah, we had a lot of free time for sure. So, I mean, I was planning a lot. We kept the TailGOAT going, actually, during COVID out here in the parking lot with the big screens.
I'm not sure how many people remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to let it die. Like I said, even if it's 100 people.
You just go through.
Yeah, you can't let it die. And if you take a week off or a year off, unfortunately, a lot of times you just forget to go back. It's just like going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
If you take off a week becomes a month becomes a year. Next thing you know, you're 300 pounds. You know what I mean? So,
but there's a lot of businesses that didn't do what you did, though.
Yeah.
Everybody's
different. Everybody's different. Obviously, everybody's got different mindsets. My biggest mindset, and I saw Warren Sapp say this back when he was playing, is every day you either get better or worse.
Right.
You never stay the same. So if you get better a little bit every day, even if it's 0.001%, that's a good day.
That mindset applies to everything. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. I don't care what you are, what your profession is. If you just treat it as every single day you wake up as an opportunity to get better at something, one aspect, that alone can be a life-changing mindset.
Yeah, man. So, the first two friends, TailGOAT, that's when the light bulb really went off in my head. Because you talk about sports uniting people, we used that formula: sports, food, drinks,
music.
Everybody has a great time. We did have the music, right? We had some amazing local DJs and amazing local bands such as the Amish Outlaws, Star Crushed, who we just mentioned. But for us, when we brought two friends in and seeing the music element of that go to the next level, and to see so many new faces that had come just because of the music that had never been to maybe a Ravens game period, that were coming from VA, DC, PA.
Just to experience
and
it.
I was that's when I was really like, we got something going on here. And while we can't do something of that magnitude every week, my biggest passion now has been these huge TailGOATs, which feature big name music acts because of the unity, man. It's wild. Like a 70-year-old who grew up watching the Colts comes to the TailGOAT because of the crab cake egg rolls. And they see what's going on. Like, you'll see them like bopping their head, man. It's wild. It's like, it's the cool, or fist pumping. It's amazing. You know, Mr. Paul, he probably doesn't know who 80% of them are outside of Paulie D, who he loves, right? Like, he's just, we've gotten to the point now, as a brand, as the TailGOAT brand, where we've earned the trust of the consumer. They're like, you know what? I may not have heard of them, but I know it's going to be awesome,
right?
Because everybody else has been awesome.
Well, I think that goes hand in hand with kind of what you're saying, the fact that one person, one fan can come there for one thing, but you're going to leave a fan of all the things.
Yeah.
You know, if you come there specifically for the entertainment, you're going to love the entertainment, but you're going to leave and be like, oh, I never had those crab cake egg rolls before. That's the best thing I ever had. If you come just for the Ravens game, you're going to be like, two friends. That's one of the best experiences I ever had in my life. And the way that everything was sports and food and music, three of the biggest things that unify everybody, and just watch them come together, it's kind of a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is, man. Especially like knowing where we started. It was 24, 26 of us. We got on the cheese bus, keg of beer, a couple cold cuts, and we headed down to Memorial Stadium at the time. And then, you know, we got better food. The keg of beer became a cooler.
And there's pictures of this.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then, you know, we had a DJ, and then you had a second bus, and then, you know, it just snowballs. You had a grill instead of taking cold cuts, and to see where it was and where it is now, it's my baby. I'm always going to treat it like my baby. The golf tournament and the TailGOAT, they're like, I watched them grow up in front of my eyes. That's why I'm such a nitpicker when it comes to them, and I micromanage everything, and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to them. Like, my buddy Jay texted me this morning. He was like, hey man, you seemed really off yesterday. And I was like, yeah, man, like, this little stuff that I see that nobody else sees, it just bothers me. But we'll get it right for the next time, and we're 7 days out now.
Well, the expectations that come with that, too, and you mentioned little things that bother you, it's when you deliver consistently on such a strong platform like that, people are expecting that from you guys now. And to bring it week in and week out, it's not easy. It takes a different breed, which, you know, you, Tony, and this team, certainly different and a different mindset. But again, people see the finished product, but they don't see what goes into it. And it is not easy on a week-to-week basis, or at least for the home games, to deliver that time after time. A lot goes into that. Yeah,
CJ got a lot of love yesterday, which was really cool to see.
CJ Mosley, I know.
You know, he's such a quiet guy, but he really like came out of his shell yesterday. He was dropping F-bombs on the stage. He loved the belt, right? He wasn't trying to let the belt go. It was really cool to see the love that he received from the fans. He was definitely one of the biggest receptions that we've gotten for a player host, and it was cool because, kind of like Joe, he didn't leave on bad terms, didn't leave on good terms, right? You know, went to New York, and then it's pretty clear now he considers himself a retired Raven, I would say, right?
Oh, CJ's love for Baltimore, and, you know, I've known CJ just on a friendly level for years. You know, my good friend Brandon Wassel, who's part of his new sports agency that they launched, Sports Legacy Group. You know, they're trying to get involved with young kids, steer them in the right direction, because CJ obviously has that background and he can help. CJ's love for Baltimore from the day that he's got here has been second to none. CJ did not want to leave Baltimore when he left to go to New York. And I'm not going to say who, but there was a very high Ravens executive who used to be with the organization who maybe told CJ this weekend, letting you walk was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. I mean, the guy went on to, you know, have more Pro Bowls, more success. Unfortunately, career ended too early because of a neck injury that he was dealing with. But when you show back up to Baltimore after being gone for 4 or 5 years, coming from the Jets, and people treat you like you just walked off the field yesterday, I think that says something. And the love was there. And like Ray Rice, CJ had a line of people sitting there waiting to get autographs and pictures with him. And he just had a huge smile on his face.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Cool to see.
It was awesome. And this Monday we have Steve Smith,
who's
going to get a massive reaction too.
I'd say so.
I mean,
that's Tori's guy.
So we've been trying to get him. Yeah, Smith and Smith Associates. We've been trying to get him to do one forever, but with him doing the NFL Network, it had to either be a Monday or a Thursday.
Yeah, he's a busy guy.
And things just like really never lined up. And then looking at the schedule this year, I was like, all right, we got one Monday game.
Yep.
And then we got Thanksgiving. I know you're probably not going to be trying to do Thanksgiving. And I'm like, can you make Monday night work? And Jenna actually hooked it up. She made it work, and I mean, I know he's fired up to get back. I know the fans are gonna freak out.
Oh, they're gonna go crazy.
Yeah, because like he was not quiet like CJ. So for CJ to go from here to here, I mean, Steve's gonna go from here to here.
He's gonna go through the roof.
Yeah, man, that crowd's gonna. And then you had all the other elements. First Monday night game here in 6 years.
Yep.
2 friends that we keep talking about. Mark Clayton's going to be there as well. It's almost sold out. And by the way, it's a huge game.
Huge game.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be 1-2 going into Kansas City, right?
No, I mean, this is 2 prolific offenses going at it. I mean, Ravens right now, back-to-back weeks of putting up the amount of points that they have. And Detroit, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Aroma St. Brown, I mean, they can sling it and run it as well. So I would think a high-scoring game.
Great line, too, by the way.
Yeah, really good line.
And Buffalo's line gave our guys some trouble, and we're down KVN now, too.
Which hurts.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But Steve coming back, he's going to get a really warm reception. We know that the Ravens, they love him. They have a great relationship. You mentioned the organization and just the way that they do things right. I think that when you mention not just in NFL, but first-class organizations in all of sports, Ravens are top 5.
Absolutely, man.
Without a doubt. And that's in all 4 major sports.
We work with the Ravens, obviously,
right,
as partners, which, as a fan first, is awesome.
Yeah.
And it just feels like every single person that I meet there is the same in a positive way. They do a phenomenal job recruiting great people. Mm-hmm. And it's culture. And it's got to go from the top down, just like it does if you're running a lemonade stand. You're going to attract good people if you're a good person. And I guess whatever Steve and everybody there sets out to look for in a candidate, they do a great job identifying it, and it shows. It is a family atmosphere there. It's not just preached, it's lived. And whether it's an account executive, the general manager of the team, the trainer, it doesn't matter. They're just great people who love being there, and they believe in the mission.
And I think people echo that. It's not just you sharing that. I think it's widely that view across the country, especially within sports itself. And you talk about culture, it has to come from the top down, for sure. It's like your restaurant, right? I mean, everybody coming, you're going to get great food. I think a lot of places have great food, but it's the experience and it's the way that you're treated that keeps you coming back. And when you walk through the doors of your place, it's the security guard at the front door, it's the host in the front, it's the chef in the back. Every single person treats you the same way, and that's what you remember. It's like a family. And I think the Ravens are very similar in that aspect.
Yeah, we definitely try to do that. The great crab cake debate that goes on anytime somebody needs social media engagement, right?
What debate?
People always, but you know what I'm saying?
What debate?
People always get so tribal when it comes to the crab cake thing. And the truth is, at the end of the day, a lot of the crab cakes taste the same.
Yeah.
And there's all great places that keep showing up on the list. People are going to get passionate about the way that they get treated at these places, right? So if somebody comes to Jimmy's and they're 6 years old and they meet Zay Flowers, right?
Who was in the restaurant
yesterday.
Yes.
So let's say a kid meets him here yesterday, or meets Tez when he was here yesterday. Whenever somebody asks where the best crab cake was, that kid is going to say, whether you're 6, 16, 26, or 36, I'm a Jimmy's guy now, right?
Yeah.
So he can get pitched a crab cake from somewhere else, and he won't even entertain it. Not that the place is not great, right? And the same thing can happen here. If somebody grew up down the street from, let's say, G&M, right? And they have great crab cakes there, and they're friends with Dimitri, and a post goes up, they're going to defend G&M. And it goes into the experience and the culture, though.
That's
and
exactly
all these
what it
places, they
is.
do great jobs. The funny thing is when these debates come up, all the top places are Greek-owned. So like when we see each other in like church, we kind of like laugh about it.
It's a good situation to be in.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're all friendly. We all work hard. We all know we put out a great product. So no hard feelings there. If you guys want to cuss out each other on social media,
go for it. It's on you.
Yeah. Anyways, man, this has been great. So getting wrapped up here. Big news yesterday that I feel like is not being talked about a lot.
No, it's not. I don't think it's getting the attention that it should be right now.
Quarterback in Cincy. I mean, for all intents and purposes, once again out for the year.
This is a guy that the injury bug has got him 4 out of the past 5 years now. And quite frankly, it's not his fault. Cincinnati has failed Joe Burrow as an organization, not getting the line to protect him year after year. The guy drops back, and within a second and a half, he's getting killed. every single time. And when you have two of the best receivers in the league, arguably the best receiver duo, I mean, he needs more time to sling the rock. But now you're in this situation again. They're lucky that they're 2-0. He's out at least 3 months, maybe even the whole season. Do they let Browning stay in there? He can sling the rock a little bit, or do they make a trade? Either way, Cincinnati, who many had as, I don't want to say a dark horse in the AFC, but they've been to the Super Bowl before. If he gets going at the right time and they can protect him a little bit, they can make some noise. Now they're fighting from behind again this year.
Dan Orlovsky had already started his MVP campaign for him in the preseason, too.
Wow.
Yeah, so
wow.
But
there goes that.
Yeah, it's wild. Going back to when they drafted Jamar Chase.
Yep.
And Joe Burrow did want Jamar Chase.
Right.
All right, so, I mean, part of it, I guess, lies there.
Yeah, you have an opportunity to get
do you draft him or do you draft Sewell? Because it's like there's that graphic that comes on every year.
That's actually a really good question.
Every year, we go back to this. It's you can get any receiver you want open if you're getting blocked, but if you're not getting blocked, the receiver's you're never going to be able to hit him open.
I mean, I think it's easy to sit there and say Jamar Chase, but then you're like, well, Joe's not going to have the success that he has without Jamar Chase. But then you look at somebody like Lamar and the guys that he's thrown to over the years and the success that he's had despite not having a receiver like Jamar until Zay Flowers has come into the picture. That's a really good question. It's a really good question.
And I think that they have thrown money at the offensive line. They just haven't done it
Zeus got
well,
a contract.
Right? Yeah. So Zeus, so he leaves. That's his third team now.
Yeah.
And then they threw some money at the guards as well, I believe. I just feel like they haven't worked out the way they wanted them to.
Right.
So I don't know if that's a development problem within the organization. At the end of the day, these are all things that you can debate. The one thing I feel like you can't debate is how you started it. The organization has failed them.
Yep. It has failed them. And I think, look, from a Ravens standpoint now, this is great for Baltimore. Cincinnati's down and out. Kansas City is going through some struggles right now. To me, it's Baltimore and Buffalo, and I think it's going to be those two teams standing in the end at the AFC.
Yeah, for sure. For the division, it makes things seem easier for sure. I know it's
not an easy division.
Thanksgiving should be a little more stress-free. I'm not counting out the Steelers by any means.
Right.
Browns, I don't know about. But unfortunately, like you mentioned, the Bills are going to be there.
Yep.
The Bills have all their tough games at home this season, which is a true home field advantage.
Oh, yeah.
And that means that the Ravens probably have to go to Buffalo again, where they have not been able to win. And at some point, they got to get over that hump. So can that happen? I don't know. I mean, they're going to have some PTSD for sure if they do go up there.
They need somebody on this team leadership-wise to step up in a moment like that. And honestly, I think you saw it a little bit with Lamar yesterday. Again, things were not going that well to begin. Lamar looked a little rusty. There's a lot of pressure on him. Things weren't progressing. We saw it in the stands. You and I were talking about it. But then he kind of just took the game over, and he didn't do it with his legs either. He did it back there, just going through his progressions, making great throws, being patient, and taking what the defense was going to give him. And I look for Lamar to be that guy moving forward. Somebody on this team has to step up inside that locker room, inside the huddle, in big situations like that, because they're going to go back to Buffalo. It seems what it's going to be like, and say, we're not going to let what's happened the past 3 or 4 years happen again. It's going to be different this time.
The thing that worries me, though, is the weather that time of year. So
I know.
We'll see,
it's
man.
Ridiculous
we'll
up
see.
there.
So that's going to do it for us today. First ever Monday morning migraine. Next week will be a Tuesday morning migraine.
It'll be a little bit different. It'll still be a migraine,
It'll
though.
Be
because it's a Monday night TailGOAT.
I'm going to be hurting next Tuesday when I do this.
A lot of sick days next Tuesday, I think.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, this office is going to be pretty empty next week. But, thanks for watching. Thanks for my brother Rick for doing this. Look forward to doing these throughout the course of the season and giving people a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at the TailGOAT, the decision-making process, and, of course, the best team in football, the Baltimore Ravens. No offense to the Eagles, bro.
Hey, as long as it brings the city together. When they're winning, it's just a little bit different. So thanks for having me, brother.
Thanks, brother. Love you, man.
Love you.